Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Sudis, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Sudis Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now,
this is Retire Your Way with Dale Sudis of Sudis Financial right here in California. Income strategies, tax strategies, Social Security strategies, healthcare strategies for you to be and stay retired. Mr. Dale Sudis, the crowd is always thrilled to see you here. Come on, guys. Give it to him. How you doing this week, my friend?
Doing great. How are you, Spike?
Very good. I think, as we both have said, busy. A busy time of year. Lots going on, which I think is a good thing right now when it comes to markets, when it comes to planning. Few different announcements across the country, which have kind of shaken things up as far as retirement planning. We'll talk a little bit about that. But I think on today's program, we'd like to see if we can help untangle some people's knots. We'll maybe go through some actual case studies, some people that you've been talking to and kind of their questions. I think people love when we do that, when we get the actual kinds of questions on how you help them be and stay retired. Does that sound like fun to you today?
Yeah, especially when I tell what their name and address and their phone number.
No, we cannot do that. No, of course.
I know we don't do that.
We change the names to protect the guilty. No, to protect
That's
the
right.
innocent.
That's how I say it.
To protect.
That's how I always say it.
No, we just like to take a little bit of the information of kind of what happened through somebody's situation, and we definitely delete their info in there and try to see what kinds of things do you need to know, and I think it's helpful for the listeners, because then they go, oh, I need to think about that as well. I need to think about that. But
Well, yeah, and I actually get ones who say, "Oh, you talked about this, and that's something I was wondering about," or ones that I deal with, and I give an example, and oh, well, I could do that too. So it, practical. It just don't keep waiting. Don't keep putting things off. If I may, thank you. There's a lot of you out there that listen to our show regularly. Really appreciate that. Don't think we bite. Come on in, get to know us. I mean, people are surprised. They come in and they find out it's just relax, and they don't get a bill, leave your checkbook at home, all that good stuff. But
you were saying in the pre-show that you had talking to folks recently, and grateful that they called, they came in, they actually made the appointment, and they said they had been listening to you for years. They've been listening to you for a long time. But it's
poor guys.
Yeah, but it's often, what do you think? Either a trigger or a comfort zone of somebody where it just takes some time and they're getting to know you literally through the radio show. Or is it often a triggering event? For instance, there are federal employees across the country right now who are experiencing kind of a trigger event. They all received an email a few days ago now, about kind of this early retirement offering. And you've got until, the deadline has passed probably by the time our radio show airs, but I think it was like you have up until February 6th to react to it. And then you don't work. And even if you don't accept it, your job may or may not be there. Millions of, or at least I think hundreds of thousands of federal employees wondering, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do you do with that, Dale? When your employer goes, hey, you might need to look at a different option, and you didn't know that was coming. I mean, that happens in the private space as well, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had, dozens where they've had times where they come in and for whatever reason, they were let go, and they had to figure out, now, what do I do? And they couldn't go, back into that line of work, maybe because of age or whatever. So there's a lot of different things that can happen. But in this case, basically, it's like anybody. I mean, your trigger might be, well, I'm getting closer to retirement and I want to know what it's like, or it might be a forced out. But we're going to look at, what do you need to keep paying the bills? What do you have coming in as future income or current income that can be triggered? And how do we position some of your assets to create additional income down the road if needed? So, it's just, Because that's our everyday thing that we work with people.
Yeah, and we've discussed it before as well that as technologies change, as the workplaces change, things obviously a lot of change here in the state of California. Look, if you're concerned about the future of your retirement, weren't you just saying also in our pre-show about someone, again, don't give out their name or anything or their industry, didn't you say there was somebody who was 61 who was worried about either something about their career or their job, and they came into you? What was the result of just that conversation that you had with somebody?
Yes, I had a lady come in, and she was very interested in retiring as soon as she can. Like I have many, and thinking maybe I'm too young or I don't have enough. But it's wonderful to be able to help ones see that yes, you can retire
Hmm.
right
Hmm.
away.
Oh yeah, I mean that's great. Is somebody in their 60s? You do have to think about a couple of things like Medicare. Are you turning on Social Security? Longevity. You know, how long could you be in that retirement? You know, we know a lot of folks living well into their 90s. So yeah, if you're thinking about retirement in your 60s, please do sit down with a retirement planning professional, somebody who does this all the time. This is literally what Dale does every single day in his offices during the week when they're working.
Mhm.
Call the phone number. Let us help you figure out what your income spend plan is in retirement. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. No cost to sit down with Dale. Nothing scary. He's not going to bite. He's not going to look at you and go, oh my gosh, why haven't you saved enough? What are you doing? It's a conversation. It is just to sit down. I remember we talked about this even a couple of years ago, that AARP study that said 45% of people would rather go visit a dentist than go see a financial planner. It's just,
Uh,
it's true. And it's like, why are we so, why is it because we're worried that are we like somebody's going to point a finger at us or feel embarrassed or you don't know what you don't know? You don't make people feel bad, do you, Dale?
no, no, that's absolutely not. In fact, it doesn't matter how much or how little you think you have. It's just knowing where you're at, and we find out where you want to be. And a lot of people don't realize they can be there. They don't have to keep working. They don't have to keep saving. They've already got their situation set to where they can retire and comfortably. Their income can last with inflation all the way to age 100. I put that out to the women's age 100 to see will it last. And so what if you do need to work a little bit longer? I can coach you even on, well, how better to save, maybe instead of even saving taxable ways where you're going to have a tax bomb. Let's start getting Uncle Sam out of the equation. Use Roth, or put more money in the bank so you can convert your tax bombs into Roth down the road. You just need to know what your options are, and it doesn't cost a dime. Leave your checkbooks at home. Could take 4, 5, 6 visits. It doesn't matter. Just, it's a opportunity to see what you can do with what you have.
Yeah. So let me get into one of our first questions here. So you do live events, and of course, you're meeting with people all of the time. And this was a question that came in for you, where obviously we're not going to say their names. And honestly, when this question came in, I didn't even know if they were male or female, which does make a difference here. So this person, they are 63 years old, married, and recently retired. They feel that they had a net worth of about $1.6 million. And their question for you was, how do they start to convert their investments into a steady income stream? Which is wonderful question, because that is exactly what you do. So should they prioritize dividend stocks or bonds or withdrawals from their tax advantaged accounts? Boom, great question. But unfortunately, that was all of the information. Dale, what can
Right.
you do with that question?
Ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
That's exactly. I mean, so I'm going to, that 1.6 million, does that include your personal residence? Does it include rental properties? What is that? What do you need to spend monthly to keep going? We call that a paycheck. You need to be able to pay the bills. Once you stop working, you still need a regular paycheck to keep paying the bills. So, I'm going to have a bunch of questions on that alone, which,
Yeah.
if you want, we can keep on that question.
Yeah, well, very true. And that's always my question to you. 1.6 million, or it doesn't matter what it is, $1 million. My net worth is $2 million. So yes, in somebody's net worth, you do put a home value, right? And let's say that home is being paid off or close to paid off, hopefully, if we're getting into retirement. But do you include, Dale Sudis, net worth of a home? Do you include that value in somebody's net worth in putting together the income spend plan? Or do you say, look, normally, if you read by definition, yes, your home value, anything that you have paid off is part of your net worth, but I need to look at spendable net worth.
Right.
Do you separate those two?
Well, absolutely, because you need, yeah, exactly. What do you have that can create the income you need? And what income do you already have that's coming in or that you expect to come in, Social Security wise, pension wise? And so there's, like I said, a lot more questions than just, I got this much money and, how do I create income from it?
Yeah. Folks, you can call the phone number. We're going to continue a little bit with this case study question. 63, can you retire with what you have saved? We've got an amount here, but if you're considering that yourself, we need to figure out how much do you spend per month? What other debts do you have? There's some other factors in there, including your health care. We'll discuss that a little bit when we get back, but call the phone number. We'll help you figure out, can you be and stay retired right now? 833-856-1382 is the phone number. Call that right now. What are you waiting for? There's no cost to sit down with Dale and his team. We'll be right back with Retire Your Way right after this.
For your own complimentary Retire Your Way review, call Dale Sudis of Retire Your Way and Sudis Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Do you know how you'll generate income from your investments along with your Social Security in retirement? In our opinion, it's never too early to start the income planning process for your future. An income plan can help you work towards creating a steady stream of income to support you throughout your retirement years. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Take control today and start income planning for your retirement. Call the team at Sudis Financial so we can help you design a complimentary written income plan to help you live the retirement you've always wanted. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Is having $1 million enough to retire? For years, many have considered this to be the goal amount to have for retirement savings, $1 million. But that's the $1 million question. Is that enough for today's modern retiree? Are you sure you've saved enough for a 25 or 30-year retirement? Are you concerned about covering large expenses, including taxes and long-term care? If so, you're not alone. But there is a solution. With a comprehensive financial plan, you can take control of your finances to help you achieve your long-term goals. With Sudis Financial, let us help you work towards peace of mind by implementing a complete retirement strategy. Call Dale Sudis of Sudis Financial Planning right away to receive your complimentary written financial plan. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or you can write Dale at dale@sudis.com. That's SOUTAS.com. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Sudis of Sudis Financial. If you want to learn more about the team and how you can sit down and get your own free written financial plan for retirement, you can go to his website, Sudis.com, SOUTAS.com. You can write Dale directly there as well, Dale@Sudis.com. That's Dale and that @ symbol you'll see on your keyboard there, SOUTAS.com. Or just keep listening to us. I'll give out that phone number in a little bit. Quick review. We were just doing a question from somebody who received recently. They're 63 years old, married, and recently retired. They feel they have a net worth of about $1.6 million. They want to know how they can turn that into income stream.
Yeah.
You started to point out, well, does that include the home? That's a great question in there. Then a few other things we started talking. What is your monthly income spend, debt? What do we need to consider if we're 63? They're married as well. I guess what I don't know is how old is the spouse? Older, younger?
Well, okay, so
yeah,
let's do it easy.
Okay.
They are sitting in front of me in my office.
Mm-hmm.
And, the questions I'm going to be asking is, okay, now you're retired. Okay. I don't care if it's 1.6. I don't care if it's 61 million. What do you need to pay your bills? Okay. What is it that you want to do now that you're retired? or do more of? What are the fun things in life you've been looking forward to, or that you, like I said, you want to do more of? These are the more important things, okay? At first, I don't care what you have. I want to know what you need to spend, because that's more important. And then, of course, as I get that information, I'm going to see, do you have debt? Do you have a mortgage still? You don't have to pay your mortgage off to retire. I mean, sometimes people think they absolutely have to pay their mortgage off before they can retire. That doesn't always have to be the case. What other debt do you have? You have car loans, you have credit cards, whatever, student loans. We're going to look at the timing of Social Security. How much is your Social Security projected to be at certain ages? And when is it best to turn it on? Do you have any pensions? How are you health-wise, otherwise? Because if, again, in this example, they're 63, I'm going to guess they're both 63. They're not old enough to start Medicare and get a Medicare supplement or whatever. So how are we going to cover health insurance, and what's that going to cost? How do we build that into your budget? We're just looking at the whole picture. Of course, I am going to want to know, well, what do you have saved up? And get me in the ballpark. I don't need your account numbers, Social Security numbers. Roughly how much you have in the bank, checking, savings, CDs. How much do you have invested? How much is retirement, 401ks, 403bs, things of that sort. How many properties do you have? Are you renting? What's your gross rents roughly? So I look at the whole picture, and then I'll probably give them homework. I need to know really what you need to spend. Now, the little monthly spending sheet is helpful, I find, for a lot of people. They realize, oh, you have categories that I didn't put in my normal, when they come in prepared and they have that, here's what I spend. A lot of times they don't have some of the categories that are on the sheet that we give them. So, I might give you a little bit of homework, and you come back, and hopefully you've given me back your monthly spending sheet and some other things I might need, and I have a rough draft of your retirement income plan to show you and go over and tweak if need be. So that's how we sit down. So the questions, there's going to be more questions, obviously, because, well, I got this chunk of money.
Yeah.
Okay, great. You need steady income. That's, like they said, how do I convert my investments into steady income stream? Well, that's what I love showing people, how to make sure their income will keep up with inflation, last as long as your wife's age 100. If you're single, I'm taking into your 90s or 100 to make sure your income will last with inflation. So, because that's important, right?
Yeah.
Once you know your income is set and you have other money to play with, your focus is on more important things. You're not thinking about, is my money going to last? And you're spoiling your spouse, you're spoiling the grandkids, you're doing more of the things you want to do. That's where your focus needs to be.
Yeah. I think I'd like to make sure that we caution this as well. This person said they were 63 years old. I don't know if male or female. One thing I think you would like to know as well is, did they turn on their Social Security? Are they waiting? Are they evaluating that? Especially for a woman, 63, if you turn on that Social Security right away, you're locking in that amount. What could be, gosh, at 63, 30 years, 35 years. So with that net worth amount, it's, do you turn on Social Security soon, or do you take from the investments and let the Social Security grow? That should be
Good
part of
question.
the conversation, right?
Right. What if a big chunk of that is tax deferred, like it's a 401k or some kind of IRA? So it might be wise to not turn Social Security on right away and start pulling from that tax bomb, as I call them, and use some of that tax bomb to pay your way until you get to a point, delaying your Social Security till later on, at least maybe till full retirement age, 67 for most, maybe even pushing to 70. So yeah, there's a lot of variables, and to say here's what you do is silly. I got to get to know you a little bit better, and it doesn't, it's not going to hurt. We're just getting acquainted and get to see, well, what do you really want to do? What do you need to pay the bills? All these good things. How much of that money is going to be creating extra taxes? How do we get Uncle Sam out of that? Maybe do some Roth conversions. There's a lot of good questions that come with every different situation. Everybody's different, so there's no canned answer.
All righty. We do need to find out some of the particulars. And then also with her being 63 or someone, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's a male or female, anybody being 63, we have to wonder about then the healthcare options. Are they wanting to do Medicare, or are they going to pay for it out of pocket? You can't do Medicare until you're 65. So do they have a spouse who's going to continue working? So there's a whole bunch of factors. So folks, I think our point on this is that's a great amount saved at $1.6 million. But there's 20 or 30 more questions I think Dale needs to ask before we can find out if you're ready.
And
to
it
be
doesn't
retired.
hurt. There's no drills. It's not like going to the dentist, as you said earlier. It's easy.
Yeah, folks, call the phone number right now. This is a great question. If this sounds anywhere like you, we can help you figure out the rest of the questions you need to answer so we can help you be and stay retired. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Right now, folks are standing by. They'll schedule an appointment for you. No cost, no obligation, no nothing. Just come in with your question. Am I ready to be retired? How about this one, Dale? I've got a new one for you. 64 years old and widowed. So my first thing I want to say is we are sorry for you. Empathy's with you. 64, widowed, and planning to claim Social Security soon, which I think this is fantastic because it doesn't sound like they turned it on yet, and so they're asking the question. Wonderful. Now, my husband left a good amount of life insurance, but before I turned on my Social Security, I've heard about strategies to minimize taxes on those Social Security benefits. What is the best approach for taking in my investments and my retirement accounts and Social Security? Great question. First of all, heart goes out to you. Dale, do you get this kind of question frequently?
Yes, even recently. I've seen this situation many times where people have lost a spouse, and in this case, we're looking at, well, again, what types of accounts you have. It says left a large amount of life insurance, which came to you tax-free. Well, that's good. What if you have a large amount of IRA money, tax-deferred money? It might be wise. Maybe we can make some conversions if Social Security is not enough. And well, actually, I'm thinking already, when's the best time to take Social Security for you? And who was the bigger breadwinner? Let's say he was in this example. And how do we start Social Security for you? And when? Because you could get a higher amount off of his record rather than your own. So we coach people on this, all the time, regularly.
Fantastic. So let's find out for sure. Boy, the widowed part, I feel so bad about that. There's a few other things probably to be aware of.
Well, one other thing to be aware of, for those of you who are married and aren't widowed, is you have all this tax-deferred money. You've got to understand that if something happens to one of you, you're going from the low married tax rates to the high single tax rates. So the getting Uncle Sam out of those investments, if possible, converting them to Roth and so on, while we know you're in a lower tax bracket, or while tax rates are as low as they are now, we want to take advantage of those options if we can. So again, it's terrible when we lose a spouse, but now how do we make sure that surviving spouse can keep going and, the income will last and won't have to lose too much taxes through the years?
Couple of things we definitely want to make sure that the widow is aware of on this. Make sure that when she files, that she knows that depending on if she was a high income earner herself, that she can take the higher of the two benefits between her and her spouse. If she wasn't a high income earner herself, that she can take spousal benefits, that she can also let that grow, but spousal benefits only grow up to full retirement age. There are some nuances here, and I'm so glad that she wrote beforehand. So if she hasn't turned on her Social Security, do yourself a favor. This is a great question, but give us a call. You might feel overwhelmed since your spouse has passed away. There's no charge to come and sit down and talk with Dale. There's no obligation. And if there's nothing that Dale can do for you, we can still have a conversation of how to best maximize your Social Security. Please, so glad you wrote. Now, give us a call, 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. No matter where you're at with your retirement planning, you are welcome to call us and the team. 833-856-1382. More Retire Your Way with Dale Sudas right after this.
Retire your way with Dale Sudas of Sudas Financial. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Are you worried that you waited too late to start your retirement planning? That you waited too late to start saving? At Sudas Financial, we believe it's never too late to start planning for your future. We can help you develop a personalized retirement plan that is tailored to your current needs and goals. The team at Sudas Financial will sit down with you and provide an evaluation of your current path, including your investment strategy, tax planning, and risk management approach. We'll help you identify potential areas for improvement and work with you to create a retirement plan that is designed to help you work towards having financial security and peace of mind in retirement. It's not too late for you to get started with Sudas Financial. Call us today to schedule your complimentary retirement planning session. We believe we can help you get on the path to financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Sudas and the team at Sudas Financial to get started on your own complimentary written financial plan. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Social Security is easy, right? The question is, should I take it sooner or later? There are dozens and dozens of ways to take Social Security if you're single, and even more if you're married. This one-time decision can also affect how much you pay in taxes, how much you receive in lifetime payouts for you and possibly your spouse. You could increase your nest egg by tens of thousands of dollars just by being informed. Unfortunately, the Social Security office is not allowed to give you comprehensive financial planning advice. You've paid into Social Security for decades. Don't you want to make sure you optimize your retirement income? Sure, there are tons of online calculators that will tell you how much you will receive from Social Security. Now, you need to build that into a retirement income plan with all of your assets. Get your own tailored, no-cost Social Security income strategy with the team at Retire Your Way and Sudas Financial. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or you can write Dale Sudas at dale@sudas.com. SOUTAS.com. Welcome back to Retire Your Way with financial advisor Dale Sudas of Sudas Financial. Call the phone number. Get started on your own no-cost income plan for retirement. Or you're planning to retirement. Sure, the income is when we are preserving our assets, trying to decumulate, make sure we don't run out. But you can also call us if you're in your planning stages to retirement, 2 years away, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years away, but maybe even further than that. Dale, have you talked to some younger folks recently?
Yes, we have grandkids. No. Yeah, actually, I've had a couple different ones come in recently. One young man, he's been hearing us on the radio show, and he, like others, wait. Well, maybe I'll just go and find out what this is all about.
Yeah.
And he was happily, pleasantly surprised to find out, number one, didn't have to pay us because we don't charge
that's
to sit
always a
down
nice
with you.
surprise, yeah.
And I keep a box of Kleenex on the desk. Say, by the way, it doesn't cost no matter how many times you come in to sit down and we visit on these things. And I hand him a Kleenex, of course, right, because they're tearing up. Just having fun. Okay, so he's in his early 40s, and he just wanted some coaching on, what should I be doing for my future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, he's got a
Awesome.
job, he's got a 401k, and, he's got a house.
That's
He's
gonna
paying
joke.
on,
That's my
and-
joke. And that's a good place to start. Have a job. Okay. You
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
retire. He's got a
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Hitting the
that's-
basics.
Oh, I forgot about that minor detail. Yeah,
That's
minor
good.
detail. Oh, did you are you working? No, but he's got a job and he's
Good.
saving. And
Mhm.
so, we talked about practical things that he can be doing now. And, he agreed. I mean, if I ask people, where will tax rates be for you and I 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
it will be, lower, the same, or higher. And what do you think everybody says?
Well, okay. So this person was what though? 30s, 40s? Where were they at?
Early 40s.
Boy, I'm wondering if taxes are on people's radar yet in their 40s. I'm gonna think that maybe they said that it'll probably go up. I'm gonna see if they're mindful.
Well,
of
yeah.
it.
And if
Okay.
they're not sure, I just show them that website. What's it called?
Oh,
The
gosh.
usdebtclock.org.
You don't want to
Okay.
scare people in their first meeting.
No. The point is, officially the government says the national debt's like 36 trillion, okay? But the real national debt, which includes unfunded liabilities like everybody else has to show in their financials, is 225 trillion, okay? So realistically, they're going to have to generate more revenue from their taxpayers. One avenue could be in income tax rates. Plus, the Trump tax code we're under right now was supposed to be temporary for us, permanent for the corporations, the big money guys. But that's reverting back in next year, right? It's supposed to go back up to the rates they were. Who knows what they'll do? But realistically, they can't hold the tax rates so low. And, since U.S. started taxing its citizens in 1913, the average marginal rate, which today for us is 37%, the average since 1913 is over 60%. Okay. So helping ones realize how taxes figure in their retirement is also important. And that's what I was doing with this young man. And so I said, instead of putting, money into the 401k, which the company doesn't even match. Now, if they do match, you go up to the free money to get that matching money, because the only thing better than free money is more free money, right? So, but then I gave them, I just had them jot down some things on a little notepad. I said, these are things you want to ask your employer. Do they offer a Roth 401k? And if they do, then start putting money there. And especially if you have a company that does matching, there's more incentives now, and more companies are, even doing a match in a Roth 401k. So you put after-tax money into that Roth, 401k, and all the growth eventually, when you take it out down the road, is tax-free as well. So,
It's brilliant. No, I'm a big
out.
fan of it. I get it. I just want to help. I don't call it, I wouldn't say this is jargon alert, but just so people aren't confused when we say after-tax money, it's not like you're automatically putting your money, hopefully, into your retirement accounts from your employer. They've got some system. I'm seeing commercials all over the place for Gusto. I think that's one that our organization uses. It's automatically going over there. You can either up that, lower that. The money is going there. So it's not after tax money like you've got to get a paycheck and then you go do. It's meaning that it's going to go over if you select a Roth for. No, you said the right words. Things with taxes get so confusing with folks. So it's that you're going to pay your taxes this year on it, as opposed to your regular 401k that lets you subtract it when you file your taxes. So you get that tax break. But using the Roth 401k for somebody, what did you say, young 40s? You save into that for 20, 25 years, paying your taxes along the way. Oh my, now you got this huge tax-free bucket.
Here's an easy way to look at it, okay? And if people want to really understand it better, just request the Power of Zero movie from us. Just call, email us, whatever, and you'll own that movie, which goes into detail of how, why we need to save with tax-free instruments and how to do it.
Call Dale Sutis of Sutis Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
What I point out also at our workshops regularly is a 35-year-old putting, $5,000 a year into some kind of retirement plan. Let's say it's tax deferred, like a IRA 401k, okay? They're lowering their taxable income by $5,000 a year while they do that. And if they do that all the way through age 65, you do the math, that's $155,000 that they saved taxes on and put it into that. And if it's growing roughly, 6-7%, at age 65, they got over $500,000 in that account that they've only put $155,000 of their income into. But all of that money is taxable when they take it out, okay? And then at a certain age, now it's 73, and for those who, right now, at 73, you have to take a certain minimum out of your retirement account. It's roughly just less than 4%.
I was going to say just a skosh under 4%, right? And then it goes up a little bit.
But it keeps going up. So each year you get older, the percent increases a bit. So you have to take that out, and that's taxable on top of whatever other income you have, Social Security, pensions, rental incomes, whatever it is, right? Then if that person died at 85, they've taken out and paid tax on roughly $500,000. They still have, even if they were conservative, once they retired and had that invested averaging 5%, they still have over $600,000 that goes on to their spouse or their kids that's still taxable. So if you think about it, you saved tax on $155,000 to ultimately pay tax on over $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the winner? Whose retirement are we saving
Who's
for,
the winner?
right?
You're the winner. You're the winner.
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt like all of a sudden we were talking to our dog. You're the winner, buddy. You're the winner.
Yeah. Okay, but now, anyway.
Hey, I get to have my fun too. No,
all right.
you're right.
But think
you
about
are
it.
the winner.
Reverse it.
You're winning by playing the tax game. I totally understand what you're saying.
But if you did it by paying the tax on that $155,000 and having that $1 million plus to play with tax-free in retirement and eliminating the need to have to take anything out of it, it's a smarter way to save is bottom line.
You know what? Now,
and there's
this is
other
great.
methods.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, we've got our listeners out there might say, well, I'm not 40. In fact, I'm 50. Or I'm 55.
That's okay.
Or I'm 58. Yeah. Is it worth it for them to look for a Roth 401k if they have that at their workplace?
It might be. I don't know their whole picture. There have been some over the past few years that I've actually encouraged, even if they're 50 or 60s, to switch over to the Roth version. They've got too much saved up, tax deferred. They've created this big tax bomb. I mean, I many times, unfortunately, see this. I see people with $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 saved in their, 401k. Okay, and they have like less than $100,000 in the bank or other, accessible money. So, and they want to play and do all these things in retirement. Well, where are they going to get the money? They're going to take it from that $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 IRA, and that's going to be taxable. So we've got, it just. People aren't realizing how, wow, I got all this money. Yeah, close that $800,000 IRA 401k and see how much you really end up with after Uncle Sam and Uncle Newsom get their cut. Probably half. So, you do it all at once. That's not the right way. But still, don't save that way. Don't create tax bombs.
That's right. But that's how we've been told in America to save for the last 4.5 decades. But maybe you have the opportunity to take a look to see if you have a Roth 401k at work. One big misconception, people always say, I make too much money to put money into a Roth. That's your Roth IRA. There are earnings limitations, but there isn't for a Roth 401k. So no matter where you're at on the time clock, it might be worth it to look into you starting to save into a Roth 401k, have that tax-free bucket that maybe you can start in retirement before you have to start paying taxes, or do a conversion. Either way, sit down with somebody who does these strategies every single day. Don't just go out there, because there are things that you could do. It can affect things like IRMA. If you increase by doing a Roth conversion or whatever your taxes are, it does a look back. So there are consequences. So make sure you know what you're doing and why. 833-856-1382 is the phone number to call to have someone like Dale help you with all of this at no cost to you. Call it right now. More with Dale Sudas right after this.
To get your complimentary Retire Your Way review, call Dale Sudas of Sudas Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Is your largest retirement savings account one that you haven't paid taxes on? Like millions of Americans, you've saved into a retirement account that deferred paying taxes until you take that money out years from now. One method to save on future taxes is called a Roth conversion, and you could do that right now to save yourself from higher taxes in the future. Currently living during the lowest tax rates of likely your lifetime, wouldn't it make sense to pay those taxes now instead of in the future when tax rates could be much higher? Call 833-856-1382 to talk with Dale Sudas and the team at Sudas Financial to see if doing a Roth conversion from your 401ks or IRAs makes sense. Take the Roth Conversion Challenge from Dale Sudas and the team at Sudas Financial. It's complimentary for our radio listeners who are serious about retirement planning. Challenge yourself. Would you rather pay lower taxes now or higher taxes in the future? Call for your own complimentary Roth Conversion Challenge from Dale Sudis and Sudis Financial. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Sudis, financial advisor of Sudis Financial. Few different strategies if you are feeling that financial stress to kick off the year. Get to know your at-home economy. Know what your spend is. Know what your expenditures are. Where are you putting your money? Do a review on everything from those monthly apps that maybe you're paying for, the entertainment. Do that review. See what your cash flow is on the in and on the out. Let's know your economy. Come up with a spending plan. We don't like to say budget. Know what you can spend. And if you're out spending it, if your credit cards are starting to get a little bit heavier in your wallet or purse, then maybe it's time to do a spending plan review to make sure that we've got enough to cover the increase in costs.
Even if, let's say, they have multiple credit card, piled up, right? They've got balances on them and they're making payments. And maybe they're trying to make a little extra on all of them. Well, put our heads together. There's some good ways to, put the extra money on one at a time. And when it's gone, dump all of that onto the next and then the next, and you'll pay them off quicker. Don't just, it's kind of like radiation. It's half-life. If you just pay the minimums or just a little bit extra on each, they're going to last forever almost.
Yeah. But another thing, though, to help you with your financial stress, and this is from an independent report, is using education for your own empowerment. We've said before that information is power, right? Information is powerful, but you really got to add on to that quotation, because information with action is powerful. You've got to do something about it. And if you're putting off making decisions because you just don't know, you need to get the right information or help get the ball rolling. Dale, you're starting your live events again for the year. How can people come to your events? Can they come and heckle you? Can they come with questions?
Yes, we ask them to bring tomatoes, fully ripe.
I want you to bring one of those air compressor horns, like a stadium horn. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Well, it is at Fresno State. We can put those people over in the stadium, even though we'll be in the business of it.
Okay, so say that again.
So on our website,
you've been doing this for a long time. Where do you like to hold the events?
At Fresno State, and they have a business section. Business, I forget what
department.
It's called. Leon Peters. Business section.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So we know that you've got your live events there, and then you put them up on your website so the folks can find out dates right now. So Sudis.com, Sudis.com, Soutas.com. You can go to the website. We've got the events. Then I think you can either register there or just give us a call, right?
Yeah, I think both. I think you can actually, register for the event online. If not, just give us a call.
Okay.
We'll get you on the list. You can come, bring a friend, bring a spouse, especially. And we have a good time. You can take notes. And I had some, this recent one, I noticed they were taking pictures of some of the slides we put up because they have some good info on them. But I'm not opposed to that. I don't.
Did you take any pictures?
Good
with folks?
information.
Did you any autographs?
No autographs. No.
Anyways, we like to have
I'd
fun
get
here,
their autographs. Yeah.
Yeah. Come to the live event. The education will help you. What kind of topics do you cover there?
We cover well, it's really about all the things the risks in retirement, how to, build a steady, income plan for your retirement to pay your bills, to play, even eventually if you need care. But we cover, Social Security, steps and tactics, how to get the most out of it, how taxes, inflation, other things like that can affect your retirement, obviously. So we want to, coach people on that. So there's quite a bit of info, and you're making me think about all the topics. But
I'm just saying.
It lasts about an hour's worth of good info, and
absolutely free to our listeners. Absolutely free to anybody who registers. Bring your spouse, bring your friends, bring your neighbors. Let's talk about it. Let's get the conversation going. I know it's one of those taboos. You're not supposed to talk about money, but that's exactly what we're going to do. And whatever else is on your mind, you feel free to ask some questions. Go to the website if you'd like to register, or at least see when the next dates are at Fresno State for Dale Sudis, financial advisor, to present for you. That's Soutas.com, SOUTAS.com, or just give us a call. Say, hey, I want to come to one of the live events at no cost.
Yeah.
833-856-1382 is the phone number.
You talked about we all need to know, yes, our at-home economy, as you called it, right? In other words, what do we need to pay the bills?
Yes.
And what I find regularly is people have sometimes people come in and they have it all written out, on a sheet of paper, I pay this for that and the other and whatnot. But you can also request from us not a budget form. We changed the name to monthly spending. Okay, but anyway, it brings in areas that you might not be thinking about, and it's helpful. Things that you might be spending here and there, a little bit here and there through the year, and it really helps you to see clearly. And we use it to really find out what you need when you retire too. But you can even ask us, we'll email it to you. It's a fillable form. As you put the numbers in, it'll total it automatically for you. And you could see for yourself, well, what do I need month to month,
Oh, really?
And we like to update that with our clients regularly. So, things change. We know how to, gear adjustments maybe on their income as well. So that's part of what we do with our families.
Call financial advisor and retirement specialist Dale Soutas for your complimentary Retire Your Way review. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Nobody likes the word budget because maybe there are some out there, the engineers out there who enjoy doing that, but a budget starts to feel like a diet. And then when one of your columns, starts to grow and grow, you feel bad because you're blowing the budget and like, oh, look at all this work. But a spending plan is, what do I want? What do I need to spend on? You can do that in a positive way, and these inputs, they do change. So, that's why financial planning is an ongoing process. It's not a principle, it's not a book, it's not a one-time thing. That's why it's a process for Dale and the team getting to know you. And then as things change, maybe a healthcare cost goes up. Maybe we're concerned about things like wildfires and our insurance, and are we covered? Those are conversations.
Well, yeah. What about the ones who they want to retire now, and they're not, old enough to get Medicare, right? So they're going to have to get private insurance. We're going to build that into your plan so that you can pay for private insurance if you need to, until you qualify for Medicare and get a supplement or whatever. The other thing that the spending form helps us to plan for, it has a section on, the fun things you want to do. So what we call the play check. So entertainment and traveling and all these kinds of things. Hobbies, sport interests, whatever. So it's pretty comprehensive.
You're such a big sports interests. I like that.
Sports interests, yes.
Yes.
Well, I have clients that
like
they
rocketeering. Rocketeering. You're
Rocket.
rocketeering.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Rocket Man. The Rocket Man. Dale Soutas, Rocket
yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So those of you out there who've ever done the little rockets when you're young, and maybe you do some with the grandkids or kids, whatever. I stumbled upon this 30 years or more ago. They do high-powered rockets out towards Helm. It's all, properly set up, safety sanctioned through the FAA. Currently up to 17,000 feet. We can put some bigger rockets up. It's a kick, and it's open to the public. That's also free. But yeah, so
But the rockets aren't free. You spend a little bit of money on that, don't you?
No, yeah, once in a while.
Yeah,
I go a couple times a year because it's a little pricey, but it's a kick to do. And
bringing it back to, as we're talking the spending plan, is what are your hobbies? What do you want to do in retirement? What does it look like for you? And that's something you can help map out for people.
Exactly.
Right. So if you don't have an income spending plan, please let us know that. Lastly, Dale, about a minute and a half here. Do we need to wait, years before retirement or the year before? When is the best time to come in and sit down with you?
Today.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for what age?
Don't put it off. You don't want to put it off. You've got your goals, and maybe you don't know exactly what all you want to do. Don't worry about it. Let's just put our heads together, see where you're at.
Saying you don't have to have all the answers right now.
You don't have to, no. You don't even need to bring all your statements and stuff like that. I don't need your account numbers. I don't want your Social Security numbers. The most personal I'll get is maybe your birth date, so I know, how other things factor in, like Social Security and stuff. If you get me in the ballpark, this is what I'm making now. This is what I'm expecting from Social Security and or pensions, or I have rental properties and we get this much, and this is how much I have in the bank and invested here and retirement. Just get me in the ballpark so I can see initially, and we'll even, but again, before that, I'm going to be still asking, what might you want to do or do more of in retirement? And even if you want, before you come in, you don't have to, but you can request that spending form and bring it with you, or we'll make sure you have it to work on after. And again, it might take 6 visits. You'll never get we're not going to bill you for spending time with us. And, that's not how we operate. So if it makes sense to work together, you will know how we get paid, and I'll outline that clearly for you. So
let us help you get your finances on track. This is what a financial advisor can help you with. We've got free tools that you can use. And another free tool is just sitting down with Dale himself and saying, where do we need to get started? Where do you think you need some help? There's no cost to do that. Dial the phone number, 833-856-1382. Dial it right now. Folks are standing by. This is the end of the hour of the show right now. We'll be back next week, but we still have operators standing by. Call the phone number, 833-856-1382. Ask for your free spending plan from Dale Sudas of Sudas Financial. For Dale Sudas, I'm Spike Spangle. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
To get your complimentary Retire Your Way review, call Dale Sudas of Sudas Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
As a valued radio listener of Retire Your Way, Dale and his entire team of retirement professionals invite you to schedule your very own complimentary retirement plan review session. 833-856-1382 is the number for you to call. If you don't have a retirement strategy mapped out that includes low-fee investment elections, tax minimization strategies, decumulation plans that will last as long as you need them to, then call for your very own retirement review session, complimentary for our valued radio listeners. Are you able to lower your taxes in retirement? Are you unclear about your Social Security, Medicare, investment fees and risk, or how to produce guaranteed lifetime income so your lifestyle and goals don't have to be changed with the ups and downs of the market or taxes? Call Dale Sudas with Sudas Financial and be confident you can retire your way. Schedule your own comprehensive and complimentary retirement review session. Don't just live in retirement, thrive. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and are not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio of securities, or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and legacy planning strategies with a legal or tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategy discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all of your options. All rights reserved.